We exist within a universe woven from an invisible fabric, an infinite field of energy vibrating at frequencies beyond our immediate perception. And within this cosmic ocean, there is a current, a flow, a tide that governs the material world. We have given this current many names: luck, fortune, fate, but its most common and most misunderstood name is money. We have been taught to see it as paper, as metal, as digits on a screen. A finite resource to be earned, saved, and fought for. A master to be served. This is the great illusion of our time, and it is the single most powerful chain that keeps humanity shackled to a reality of limitation. Today, we shatter that chain. We will not be talking about budgets or investments in the way you know them. We are going on a journey to the very source code of reality, to understand the fundamental law that governs the flow of abundance. Because money is not a thing you get, it is an energy you command. To begin, we must redefine our terms. What is money? Strip away the history, the economics, the societal constructs. At its quantum level, money is nothing more than a crystallized store of value. It is a tool, a conduit, a physical symbol for a non-physical force. Energy. The law of conservation of energy states that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only converted from one form to another. Think about that. If money is energy, then it too cannot be created or destroyed. It can only change form. It is already here, all of it, circulating in an infinite cosmic dance. So the question is not, how do I get more money? The question is, how do I become a vessel through which this energy naturally flows? How do I convert my own energy into the form of financial abundance? This brings us to our second redefinition. What is wealth? Wealth is not the accumulation of money. That is merely a measurement, an after effect. True wealth is the ability to generate value. It is a skill, a capacity, an internal state of being. The billionaire who loses everything and rebuilds their empire in a few years does not possess a secret strategy. They possess the unwavering ability to generate immense value in the marketplace. They understand that money is a shadow cast by the light of value, and while the shadow can disappear, the light source remains. Most people spend their lives chasing the shadow. They contort themselves into shapes they believe society values. They climb ladders in professions that drain their life force. They become, in essence, circus monkeys, performing tricks for the reward of money. This act of self-abandonment is the most dangerous energetic statement one can make. It is a broadcast to the universe that says, I, in my authentic form, am not valuable enough. I must change who I am to be worthy of abundance. And the universe, which is a perfect mirror, simply reflects this belief back. When you place money on a pedestal, you automatically place yourself beneath it. You create a dynamic of pursuer and pursued, and what you chase, by universal law, will always flee. This was the final frontier for me, the last great paradox I had to solve to truly step into a life of freedom. I had done the work, I had built businesses, I had achieved income goals that once seemed impossible, but I felt a deep, gnawing friction, a sense of burnout, a feeling that I was perpetually pushing a boulder uphill. I was generating value, yes, but I was doing it from a place of misaligned effort. I was still, on some level, performing for the money. My creative life force, the very essence of my being, was being poured into vessels that did not truly resonate with my soul, all in the hope of a financial return. And so, my abundance was capped. It was limited by the amount of life force I could sacrifice before collapsing. The breakthrough came not from a business book, but from a moment of profound stillness. A realization that the ultimate source of value in the universe is the authentic expression of consciousness itself. Your unique frequency, your zone of genius, that strange, quirky, passionate intersection of talents and interests that is yours and yours alone. This is where the journey inward begins. The great mistake is to look out at the world and ask, what does the world want and how can I become that? The correct question is, who am I at my core And what value can I create as an authentic expression of that self? This requires a radical, terrifying act, the act of valuing yourself above all else, more than the job offer, more than the client, more than the money. It means saying no to opportunities that, while lucrative, would require you to betray your intuition, to abandon your truth. When you do this, something miraculous happens in the unseen realm. You remove money from the pedestal and you place yourself there. You declare to the cosmos, my energy, my alignment, my truth is the most valuable asset in my reality. And suddenly, the chase reverses. Money, which is simply a current of energy that flows toward value, begins to flow toward you. It has no choice. You have become an energetic center of gravity for it. Let's explore this through a more scientific lens. In quantum physics, the observer effect tells us that the act of observation affects the reality being observed. The universe exists as a sea of infinite potential, a wave of possibilities. It is the focus of a conscious observer that collapses that wave into a single, particle-based reality. Your internal state of being, your deeply held beliefs about your own worth, is the observer. If your internal state is one of devaluing yourself, of believing you must perform and change to be worthy, you are collapsing the field of infinite potential into a physical reality of lack and struggle. You are literally creating a universe where abundance is something outside of you, something you must earn. But when you cultivate a state of radical self-valuation, you become a different observer. Your core frequency changes. You begin to collapse the quantum field into a reality that mirrors your inner state. Opportunities don't need to be chased, they crystallize around you. The right people, the right ideas, the right resources are drawn into your orbit, not by effort, but by resonance. You are no longer trying to manipulate reality. You are allowing your very being to architect it. So, how does one generate this immense value? Once you have committed to honoring your authentic self, you tap into an infinite source of creative energy. Think of Sally, our proverbial subject. She is a brilliant baker, creating healthy recipes that taste divine. But society tells her baking is a hobby, not a career. So she forces herself into e-commerce, following a proven model. She makes money, yes, but her energy dwindles. She burns out. Her income hits a ceiling because it's tied to an energy source, her own willpower, that is finite. Now imagine Sally decides to radically value herself. She ignores the chorus of doubt and launches a platform dedicated to her passion. She pours her love, her unique story, her soul into her creations. She is no longer working. She is playing. She enters a flow state, that neurological sweet spot where time dissolves and inspiration flows from a source beyond the conscious mind. Her content, her products, are infused with an energy that no one else can replicate. She has become a category of one. There is no competition in your zone of genius. The value she creates is now exponential, because it is no longer fueled by her limited willpower, but by an unlimited connection to her higher self, to the creative consciousness of the universe. She is no longer just selling recipes. She is selling joy, health, inspiration, and authenticity. People don't just buy her products, they buy into her world, her energy. And the financial abundance that follows is no longer a struggle. It is a natural, effortless consequence, an exhale. But there is one final, crucial piece to this puzzle. It is the key that unlocks the floodgates, the law of reciprocity. This ancient principle, echoed in every spiritual tradition, states that what you give, you receive. However, the modern interpretation has been corrupted. People are told to give to get. This is a transactional mindset, and it contaminates the entire process. To truly activate the law of reciprocity, your giving must be selfless. Your focus must shift entirely from what you will receive to the value you are providing. The intention behind the energy you put out determines the quality of the energy that returns. When you create something, is your primary thought, how will this benefit me? How much money will this make? Or is it, How can this genuinely serve? How can this solve a problem, heal a wound, or bring joy to another? This was the final layer of ego I had to shed. I would find myself reading a book and thinking, how can I use this concept to sound smart in a video? My focus was on myself. The value I created was tainted with the energy of self-interest. The moment I shifted my intention to pure service, when my only thought became, what do people truly need to hear to break free? How can I deliver this in the clearest, most powerful way for them? Everything changed. The ideas flowed more freely. The impact of my work deepened, and the financial return took care of itself almost as an afterthought. You have to fall in love with the problems of your audience, with the needs of your customers. You must become obsessed with providing elegant, beautiful, transformative solutions. You pour your now aligned, authentic energy into a vessel of selfless service. This combination is what creates the highest possible form of value. It is the alchemical marriage of the divine masculine, focused action and service, and the divine feminine, intuitive, authentic creation. And so we arrive back at the beginning, the universe as an infinite field of energy. You are not a separate being fighting for your share. You are a conduit, a transformer of this energy. You have within you, right now, everything you need. You do not need to add anything to yourself. You need to strip away everything you are not, the false beliefs, the societal programming, the fear that tells you that you are not enough as you are. Your authenticity is your greatest asset. Your intuition is your most reliable compass. Your capacity to serve is your direct line to infinite supply. Stop chasing the paper reflections of wealth. Turn your gaze inward. Do the profound work of valuing the unique consciousness that is you. Identify your zone of genius, not by what is practical, but by what makes your soul feel alive. And then from that sacred space, turn your focus outward and ask, how can I serve? Do this, and you will cease to be a seeker of money. You will become a source of value, and the energy of abundance will not just flow to you. It will flow through you, ceaselessly, effortlessly, infinitely. You will not just be wealthy, you will become wealth itself.